Hello, I'm back for round 2 of the CHANGA stories. So the first time I did CHANGA was October 14th, and then the next day I did my second session of CHANGA. This session was a lot more extreme and it has a lot more visuals and details, so I'm just going to read it straight out of my journal so I don't screw it up. I'm going to head right into it right now. But I do want to say, set and setting, I was in the forest, like the most lush, beautiful place in Vancouver. So that made it really magical. Also, we forgot to bring filters, so we used sage to filter the DMT pipe. And let me just tell you, that sage is very sacred and ancestral, and it really tied in with my trip, I think. And my sisters said the same thing, that the sage really just amped up a lot. Okay, so I'm going to just show you the. Wait, hold on. I can flip the camera. Here is a picture I drew of the trip. It's not a good picture, but I was kind of in a rush. So here's some detail. Alrighty, back to me. I'm gonna start right now. Why not? So, I began with the tunnel once again. My body felt sedated like a heroin high. It got heavy. I was forced to lay down. I tried getting up, but that wasn't an option. Going through the tunnel faster and faster. There was a mosquito near my ear. I kept slapping my ear like this. I was trying to get it away. Oh wait, I forgot to totally mention. I took 4 really large hits, and throughout the entire trip I kept getting prompted to take more, and in total I took 9 hits, and it was far more than I ever needed or anyone ever needs, but that was a part of the trip. So, okay, getting back to it. Whew. Okay, I entered the tunnel. It transformed into a paw print of some sort. I assumed a bear print. It was like tracking back my history, like my thumbprint or something, like DNA or something strange like that. Falling into the detail of the print was greeted at some point with the white pyramid. I often see a white pyramid on my trips. Was just observing it. I saw feathers all over. Once again, the details. I couldn't stop looking at the details. I focused so hard on them. Everything felt like smoke. It was all being burned away. It reminded me of the sage. Oh gosh. I keep having to switch my arms. I was brought back to the feathers. I saw a birdman. Later, I saw someone emerging from the clouds / smoke. I asked, "Who are you?" They transmitted a message. I'm not that. Laughing, bliss, love. I was looking at the light. A figure began to emerge. Oh my gosh. A figure began to emerge. It was Jesus Christ. I couldn't help but notice his wings. He was floating on clouds. It was very bright and light, filled with love. Felt like a child in his presence. Sorry, I wasn't filming me. Okay, I want to say, I don't know if I wrote it down, but just in case I didn't, the significance of me seeing Jesus was that in his presence, everything felt so divine, and I knew he was divine, but there was this wave of relief that he sent me, and it was kind of like he was just a normal man, and he was divine though, because he was trying to say everyone is divine. You are divine. I am divine. He is divine. She is divine. So, yeah. I found myself standing on top of a mountaintop. All around me was distant white lands, other mountains. It was supposed to be cold. There was an old native looking man, like a shaman. He felt extremely familiar. He told me I need to take more medicine. I fought with him. I fought with myself about it. Because at this point, like, I was far gone. I felt like I was in DMT space. So I didn't really know how to interact with my physical body and get back down. But he pretty much did it for me throughout the entire trip. And I want to say, the first time I did CHANGA, I was very aware of my ego the whole time. Like, I had thoughts streaming in and out. But this one, I was far gone, and my ego was nowhere to be found. I was just experiencing everything, really. So that was a major difference between the two trips. Okay, so the shaman keeps telling me, take more medicine, which is the opposite of my first trip, where it was saying, you've had enough. Now this one was, take more. I didn't think I could. I took another hit. I remember both the medicine man and Divine Mother telling me to take more, urging me that if I wanted to dig further, I needed more. I felt selfish. They reminded me that doesn't exist. I continued to take more hits, always holding it in longer each time. 9 hits total. Alas, I was with the shaman again. He allowed me to see that I was the medicine all along. So it really didn't make a difference how much I even took, or if I didn't take any, because that was my substance, was the healing. It was everything. I was the medicine all along. It wasn't outside of me. There were smoky, translucent beings all around him and the peak. So on the mountaintop, I was on the tallest mountain of all. And I don't know how, but I was literally just balancing on the very peak of a mountain, and it was like Mount Everest, where I was in the clouds pretty much, and these beings started to arise, but they were very cloudy and smoky looking. And okay. I'm trying to get back, it's hard. Smoky, translucent beings all around him and the peak, but I was aware that they were all me. I was aware of the concept that there were others there, Maddie and Caitlin, my friends, but I knew it was all me at a deeper level. I was shown a symbol of some sort. At one point, it was healing. It was very healing to me. And if you watched my death portal DNA activation video, that was the symbol I was talking about, where I couldn't recall, and my friend Maddie said that she saw something, and it was that symbol. I was shown a very frail, distorted hand. The fingers looked broken. I also recall feeling my left hand being very sunk into the earth, like it was becoming rooted. I remember, that I was becoming a tree, and my fingers were falling into the soil, and my body was just disappearing. This is exciting. I haven't read this in a while, so I forgot everything that happened. Like it was being rooted. There was a point when I met Jesus. He reached his hand down to me. I raised my hand / arm to him. I felt my arm and it was strong and angular, like I don't know, like this, like an Egyptian. Okay, sorry. Oh, I felt as if an eagle was supposed to land on it. I saw more and more birds. There was one in particular that had this thing on its head. I touched all of my fingertips together and placed it on my head like a crown. They all placed it on me, all of the birds. to remind me of who I was, an eternal queen of light, a child of the cosmos. There was one point where I asked what I was. I was shown so many things all at once. I was brought back to the infinite waterfall. If you guys watch my other videos, you would know what I'm talking about. All of my near-death and psychedelic and crazy deep experiences. I met with two waterfalls that collide into each other, and I always am sinking beneath them. And yeah, so that's a very significant symbol in my life that I haven't really figured out what it is yet. This time I was I lost it. Okay. This time it was two on both sides pouring down into each other. Remember watching what seemed to be myself either jump into them or fall into them. I was aware that this was one of my deaths. I felt the heaviness of it. I watched as my body sank below, far under the water. Far under the water, just floating in the blue atmosphere. Later on, I decided to open my eyes and I saw the trees. They felt like people all around. The very top reminded me of the feathers. I said, "Peacock," in a very childlike voice. I said it out loud, and after I was done tripping, my friends were laughing about that. Peacock! In a very childlike voice. Then I couldn't figure out if I was looking down at a reflection of water or lying. I freaked out. Yeah, I remember this. Looking up at the trees and the leaves and like the whole peacock thing, and as the sky was blue and the trees were like shadowy, I felt like I was looking, you know how when you're looking in a stream or something and you can see the trees and the water? That's pretty much my perception. I didn't understand perception, and I didn't know what my body was, so I thought that I was drowning from the waterfalls, in a sense. I freaked out, so I turned and laid on my belly. It was dark there. There was little green people to the left, but then I saw yellow cat eyes everywhere I looked. They said they were always watching me for all time and eternity. I couldn't really breathe. Oh my gosh, my arms. I was suffocating here, so I moved my head in a way I could breathe more. Later on, I looked at Maddie and Caitlin. Thought I was a dove, but I wasn't. That made me trip into the cycle. Sorry. It was scary, but a different kind of fear than I am used to. I just kept surrendering to it. I knew I had more to experience. Okay, I'm sorry. It was originally, I thought I was done. Yeah, I remember now looking at them, and they kind of looked at me like, "Oh, are you done? What's going on?" And then I realized how much I had ingested and that I was nowhere near done tripping, and I was afraid that this was gonna turn really, really bad. My trip was, I think, like 20 minutes, and these are really only supposed to last maximum like 15, and it's usually like a 10-minute or 5 to 10 minutes like DMT. So yeah, I was there for a while. But a different kind of fear I was used to. I just kept surrendering to it. I knew I had more to experience. I looked at the plants all around me, felt like acid, just looking so intensely at it all. It was beautiful. I wanted to get up and run around in the forest like I was on acid, but something in me told me to stay put, so I went back into the tunnel. I was met with so many things, people, lessons. It all happened so fast. I was experiencing it on such a deep level. The pain and fear was different. It was almost blissful. I felt myself constantly wanting to go deeper. I remember thinking about the sun and the light that it carries. I listened and saw the trees once again dancing above me. I felt like I was in the jungle. It was the Peruvian jungle when I'm saying that. It was like I had never left, that's where my soul was, what my work consisted of. I was there for eternity. I felt my third eye. It was the tunnel, a black hole. That's pretty cool. When I was exciting? What? I don't even know what that says. When I was exciting. I saw the pyramid. Oh, when I was exiting. I saw the pyramid this time. It was a black one instead of the white one that I started off with. I recognized polarity, but there was something beyond it. It took me there. What? Sorry, I don't know what this says. But there was something beyond it. There were times where I saw myself flying away like a bird. I left it all behind. Okay. I think that's it. But so yeah, that was my second Changa trip, and obviously I wrote this all down like 4 days later, so much disappeared. And I remember specifically the Birdman having a huge significance in that trip, but I didn't even write it down, and now that seems so distant from me that it's hard to go back into that space. All I can remember really though was that they kept saying, "You are the medicine, you are the medicine." Because for so long now I've been wanting to go to Peru and work with sacred ayahuasca, and I've been so determined to do that, and then this trip happened and I worked with her. I really did, and she told me that I was it already. And I'm always it. I'm always the medicine. I'm always the healing waters, the prana, the breath of life. Okay, one last thing is the next day we go to this flea market, right? And I'm like, I gotta get a tapestry, whatever, how do you say it? Because they're really, really cheap at this place, and I literally sat there forever and I couldn't decide. And the guy who worked there started folding one, and I just saw the burgundy color. I didn't see any of the pattern, and I was like, I'll take that one. After like 20 minutes, he opens it up, and my friends are like, because I was like, oh, I love the colors, and they're like, whoa, Silken, that has peacock feathers and birds all over it. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it was crazy. And the synchronicities and all of the connections that have happened before and after these Changa trips are unbelievable. When my friends and I did the tarot cards and the oracle cards together, the messages were so spot on. It was almost kind of freaky. Like, the synchronicities were just too much that I felt like I was in some other multi-dimensional reality that was on a higher frequency of some sort. But yeah, I'm probably forgetting so much from that Changa trip experience. But that's what I'm gonna share for right now. If I have anything else, I'll make a new video. Thank you for watching. If you like, thumbs up, please. Comment if you want to know anything about me or see a specific type of video, or if I've done like other things. I still have to do my acid trip ones and my Hawaiian baby woodrose trip reports. Yeah, But thank you again, and see you next time.